Hi everyone, this is Vanessa, and I want to make a kind of like a tutorial video this time of what you'll need to, this is going to be some, for in case some of you that don't know how to make it, which I got to learn just now how to make it. I did get advices from a few people on how to make pacifiers for my RealCare 2 Plus baby, which I named Alyssa. And here with me, I have my baby. And I charged it up just for a little bit just so I can do demos and see if it will work, and it did. And I didn't want to make the video in case it backfired, and I didn't know what I was really doing. Okay, so this here I had to use for the controller for the batteries. And this is from Reality Works. I actually got this off of eBay because I got the lubricant kit. So that's stays in this baggie, which I'm gonna actually put this in a different baggie because that way I can have all her stuff together. Well, this can just stay in its own bag because lubricant can be a little bit messy. So I'm closing that baggie up, let some of the air out. I'll do this with my hand, so hold on. Okay, so this here, this can go right over here. Well, I should be able to put it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's where my lubricant is. It's right there. And the reason why I have more light in my room because the sun is out and my bedroom light is on. If you want to see what it looks like outside, it's pretty decent. I got the window open because that's as much as I can open right now. Okay, just a little bit of walking and I'm already out of breath. Okay, so I had a bottle ready just for in case. This is from Reality Works. This is what came with the baby also. You can't read it. You can kind of read it. It says Reality Works. Live it, learn it. And I'm sad to say that the wife of the founder from Baby Think It Over, she has passed away the other day. That's a little bit sad. Because I remember when I was in school, we watched a videotape on parenting and stuff like that. And then we watched a video of Baby Think It Over. Like, I don't know where my teacher got it from, but this is a while back even. So what the video was is to prevent so many teenage pregnancy, and it also teaches you that there are expenses for taking care of a baby and what it's like to take care of a baby. So with that said, she came up with the Baby Think It Over, and it's a wonderful program, and it teaches me so much, like besides like being a parent or whatever. I mean, I always had the love for dolls and everything like that, but when you're a student, it gives you like a whole different perspective. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, we all go to stores and like see baby cribs and stuff, but we don't think about it because we're like, oh, you know, just too little, you know. Okay, well, that's true. Kids are too little to understand and know. But when you start to be a teenager, the expenses, the costs from the hospital bills, the things that babies need, and sure, the babies don't need a lot of clothing, but there's maybe a few outfits that you like to get extra, and then you have to have storage, because obviously you have to store the baby stuff somewhere, like diapers and whatever now. And sometimes baby needs more care, meaning that whether your baby develop asthma, and that's another cost that adds on top of that, or your baby has some kind of other health issues, you got to deal with that. And then all the times you have a perfect baby and nothing really happens. So everybody is different. Like I always said before, well, I was always told this, is that everybody is different. Everybody goes through different things. Like even right now, I'm going through something. So with that said, my point is that it costs a lot of money to love and care for something. And yes, the reborn hobby is expensive, and yes, they're dolls too. But to take care of a real baby, it's a lot of work also. And you also have to have a crib, or if you don't get a crib, then you can get the pack and play. And if you don't, and then you have to have a stroller and a car seat, because you can't put a baby in a regular seatbelt. I mean, come on, well, for one, it's silly, and two, obviously babies don't fit in seatbelts. So that's just my point on that part. But that's what she was teaching us, is the founder from Baby Think It Over is to learn and live it. And so with that said, I remember her being in a video, and she was talking about the RealCares and the Baby Think It Over dolls, because at the time, well, when I was in school, we had RealCare, but my teacher didn't have a lot to provide to us. And then we also had the generation 4 and 5. And she only had, like, I think 1 or 2 RealCares, but there were generations. She had maybe like 3 generation 6. So when we were all rotated and had different dolls. But I took the doll twice. Long story short, the doll that she first gave me, there was a defect to it, and she knew it, and then she had to deduct from that because she knew that there was an issue with it, and I told her I tried caring for it, and at the time that was one with the key, which is generation 4, and then I told her I wanted generation 5, and she's like, well, a lot of times children or teenagers, or they can't handle the crying so much, and then they try to care for it, and then does it always register? So I told her that I wanted to give it a try. I wanted a generation 5. Because at that time, if I had the generation 6, also known as RealCare 1, at the time I was already going through some stuff, and that would be too much for me. But with the generation 5, it's still, you have to do the head support and care for it, and do your schoolwork and dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life. So, I remember the founder from Baby Think It Over, my teacher she got a hold of the tape, which at the time, I think you could get the tape anywhere and everywhere, meaning that you get it off the website, or if someone had it and they were selling it, on eBay or something, but now they're hard to get a hold of. Well, in the video, she was telling us, like, about the doll and how to care for it and how to use it and what it's used for, and don't treat it like it's a doll, treat it like it's a real baby, because it must go everywhere you go. So stuff like that. And yeah, it helps us develop what comes on later in life if you do have children, and then because you already had some of the experience, and then you can take the experience to that. Fortunately, in my case, and some other ones that I ran into, and they either having difficulties having a baby, or sometimes baby's not possible in their life, or sometimes babies are not meant to be until maybe later on. So everybody has different cases. But I guess what my point is, that to have a real baby, or even a electronic baby, it takes a lot of patience. You can't just, like, obviously you don't abuse your child or anything like that, or even the doll, but the doll teaches you, like, how to properly care for a real baby and get ready for a real baby if you ever have one in the future, or if you're able to. But I just remember the video of her being in it, and knowing that she passed away, it was like, oh my gosh, I remember her being in the video that my teacher had. And so yeah, so what this is that I showed you this already, and I have my scissors, and I have this. As you can tell, I cut off probably about, I guess you would call that like 2 blocks, like, because this is like 1 full stick, so I cut like 2. And what I did, This is what I did to make sure that the baby properly worked. I have this on my wrist, like you're supposed to. And these right here you're supposed to cut off. But I have it where I can easily slide it off my hand. So what I did was I had this ready. I had this ready for in case I could not get this to go right. Which I'll show you that in a second. So I had this ready. My baby was ready. And so what I did was I didn't know which way I should do the magnet. So I did one on this pacifier and one on this pacifier, meaning like and however way it worked. And it's got the little mouth imprint. And that kind of tells me like where to properly put it and push down on it. So what I did was I did it on demo mode. Demo mode is where, let me see if it has enough power. And maybe I can properly do this. I don't know if this will work. And I would like to do a day in the life of my RealCare or something like that. But right now it's not possible. Okay. Hopefully you can see this right. Okay, so if I have this ready, we want demonstrations on top. I'm going to hit that. And it says burping, feeding. So we're going to do feeding. So like I said, I had the cap off like this. Can you see that? So I had it like that. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can... Hold on. No, that did not work. It did not work the way I wanted to. Okay, hold on here. I'm going to try something else. Because that didn't properly work. Things that we gotta do. Okay, so here's a bottle. Got it ready. Took the cap off. So what I did was, I clicked on feeding. Oh, that is a glare. I'm not sure how well you can see that. But it says feeding. So I go ahead and do that. And it says locate baby. So we locate the baby. Oh, should locate it. Do you have the battery? There we go. So you heard the little chime from this. Gently press it on her mouth, and she's taking and she's eating. So it's like she's taking a pacifier. And if you want to know what she looks like, that's the feeding sound. So besides me cutting off a little bit of putty and putting it on there, so I got to know how I wanted it. And then I made the second one. Now here's my magnets. So I took a piece off, only took one off, and that's how well it looks. So let's set this back over here. And let's see if she can turn around and look at you. That's her happy sound. And this right here did not take off no paint. But if you do leave it on there for a long time and you're afraid that the paint will get messed up, you know, like on the lips, which that's why I'm experimenting now. I'm looking. So you want to just kind of look. Make sure there's no paint rubbed off. But if you do have it on here a long time, like I had it on there not even that long, but what I would do, instead of just taking it off like how I did, if you do have it on your baby for a long time, I probably would play with it like this a little bit, very, very gently, and then try to gently like pull it away, so that way it doesn't mess up the baby. So that's what I did too. So besides it pushing firmly, not too hard. You just wanted to have it where it has the connect. Once it connects, then you know that to leave it there. And you can leave it like that too for the rest of the day if you like. But what I'm saying is that if you do have it on the rest of the day, I probably would gently like do that so it can gently come off her mouth. So, let me see. What pacifier that could work with you? I'll do outfit. I might do one more. I'm just looking real quick. See what other one I can do real quick. Let's see, what do I think about that on you? You get a little bit of purple. Okay, so I'll use this one. So what you do, take a little piece of magnet off. There's the magnet, because it's from this. So there's the magnet. It's in my hand. Here's this. I'm only going to cut off a block. So I kind of measure it on my own, how much I think I will need. So I'm going to cut this way, because it already has a slit there. So I gently just snip this way, and I press down on it a little bit. And I leave the paper and the plastic on there. And then I think I'm only going to need that much. Now see how it's like this? I would not peel that, like where it's hung like this. What I would do, I would take the scissors, so you have a nice clean cut. Cut right into a square. And then you have a, see, and then that way you did not mess up the tacky. Peel off the plastic. And then peel off the paper. And see how it's a square. Might be a rectangle, but there you go. But to me it's like a square for me. So you see where the magnet is at? So what I did was I kind of put it in the middle. And then what I do is that, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this. So I'm putting the magnet in the middle. And I'm working the putty around the magnet. And then I kind of squeeze like this. And I kind of make into like a, looks like a, so if you had like a little tail, I would just push that in a little bit. Depends on however you want it. Then I take the magnet, the pacifier. Well, yeah, I do take the magnet too, because it's inside the putty. And on the pacifier though, I push and push and push and push. But then I also see where the magnet is at. So then I kind of work around that. Because I don't want the putty to stick out too much. But then I don't want too much putty like around the magnet. So like, it kind of goes by your preference how you want it. But I don't want it to be sticking around the corner like here, or over here, or up there. But then I also don't want it to be too puffy either. So then I kind of spread the puffy apart. But then I take my baby, and it's like you're doing like an imprint. So then I take it, gently, 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 gently press, hold it. That right there tells me the imprint where her mouth was at. So what I kind of do is I kind of work around that. So kind of like, right now you guys are not seeing, but hold on. Okay, so right here where her mouth is, like, did the imprint. So I kind of do it again to see where I want it. You can also leave it like that too, but gently pull it away from her mouth. So I kind of see like the imprint up here. So I kind of like blend that in, and then I kind of like work it with it like this. And then what I do to make sure I have the magnet right, so we're going to go here, and we're going to go on feeding. locate the baby. Come on, baby. There you go. Okay, there you go, Alyssa. And then if you think you need to move it, gently move it wherever you need to and want it. And that way you know that she's doing the feeding sound. And that's how you make the pacifier. So what I'm going to do with what's of this, I'm going to put it inside the packaging. But it says do an airtight bag. You know, to put it in. Just so it doesn't get, harden and lose its whatever. So I'm going to put that in an airtight bag after I'm done with this. That means she's happy. She had her feeding. So then you kind of just want to make like that. And then kind of do it again. You don't have to do the demo again. Just gently press. And that way you have more of the dent where you want it. And that way I know next time I want to use this pacifier along with the other ones, and I know what to do. So now I got to learn how to do it. And I have to say I thank you to those that gave me advices. And I definitely want to thank a special lady. And she also gave me advice. The first lady that gave me advice, she kind of like told me that make sure there's no dye in the putty. But this is white putty, but still, I would still be careful. But just gently pull it away. And then also to examine where the mouth is at. And examine here to make sure there's like no paint or anything came off. And there's no paint that came off. So I'm going to try something too. I'm going to see if this will return it also. So I'm going to make sure too that it's like even in her mouth, so that way it doesn't look like it's too far on one side. And just gently pull it away. There you are. So now I have 3 done for her, which I'm really, really happy that I did. Hope there's a piece of hair. I'm not sure whose hair that is. Oh. Okay, I got it off. It looked like a piece of string. Thought that was hair. So when I'm doing this, so I'm trying to have it where I can have like a little bit of a dent to work with for this one. So that way when I press this one against her mouth, then I kind of know where I want it. And there you go. So then you have your own modified passies or pacifiers for your RealCare too. Or Generation 6, I believe, you can also take them too. So this is all that you need. This, any type of magnet that you wish to use. This, scissors. This, if you need batteries to put inside this. Now, I have her on daycare mode. All I have to do is just do that. And automatically tell me where else I want to be. Turn that off. And if you need the charger for your baby, if you own one, charge it up. Do not, I tried this too, do not do any work if you have it plugged in, do not do this or any function for her because it will not register right. So when you're charging, let her charge first. Depends on what you're doing. If you wanted her to be charged the full entire day, or him, charge it first, unplug it, then do the work. So usually I don't do tutorials, but that was kind of fun. And I had this too in case I needed it, because I didn't know what else I was going to need, just for in case I mess up or something and something didn't work. I can rub it off or whatever it might be. So these right here I had on the side, just for in case, because you never know. Here is a bunch of pacifiers that she can use. And here's the top of the tray. That's just the lid. That's when I was looking for a pacifier that would look nice on her. So the ones that I used on her to demonstrate. This one here was last, as you could tell, because I did that. This is the second one. And this is the first one that I made. And I didn't know how that was going to work, so now that I know how it works, I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, I tell you, I am so happy. Oh. And if you're wondering, the putty does not have a weird scent. So if you're afraid that putty is going to have a awkward scent, it does not. So I'm just going to put those in there. Lock off the tip, or the top, the top. And so yeah, I'm going to put my medical tools away. Usually I don't do this, but I'm going to get a baggie for this, so I can put it in the bag that I have, which is all the stuff that I use. So the first thing I'm going to put in the bag will be the controller, bottle, stuff that I use, this rubber ducky, a few wash rags, okay. And if you're wondering where her other diaper is at, it's on top there. And that's where also this key goes. I should have demonstrated this. What you want to do is make sure that the writing is on the outside. Make sure it's at a certain way so the baby can register. So the way that you see it here, so what you want to do is, see how this is? So if it was open, put it through here on each side. Obviously you want, if you have this kind, you want to take the backing that's off first. It'd be the side that is that you're going to slide on, because this side is fatter. So if you have a fatter side, obviously it goes on the skinny side. Pop this in. So like when you know it's going to close, put it back the same direction. Measure it on your wrist. Snap it, snip, and you're good to go. What I mean by snip is that you cut off the excess. And then you cut off the other piece of the band. So you only have that. And there you are. The way you want to wear it is like this. That's the way you would want to wear it. So if it's on my wrist,